Our next repair will be one more printer that is used or converted for sublimation ink, and we got it for repair, and something is wrong with it. The owner didn't really knew what to tell us, so we're gonna check to see if there's something that could be fixed relatively easy, or maybe if it does requires something else. For now, ink cartridges are not recognized as we see on the display. Let's see, maybe there's something wrong with that. We're gonna try to reset the cartridges to see if that's the problem. Obviously not, because the printer did reset the cartridges with the CIS. So we're gonna have to print something out also after the charging, or similar to head clean. Basically it's a head clean, but it says charging is done. Alright, so we got the printer resetted, and let's see if it's gonna print out something. It probably will print, but what would be the quality of printer? That's questionable, so we're gonna check that out also now. So the black ink does print, but it's pretty much a lot of stripes in the box, so probably either the head needs to be clean, or maybe even replaced. So that's what we're gonna have to do. Yellow is okay from what I can tell. Let's see the other ones. Magenta seems to be okay also. Doesn't seem to have any stripes inside, and the cyan is okay. So yeah, if we are not we won't be able to clean the black channel, and we would have to replace the head itself. Yeah, I think everything is good except the black. So now what we have to do is to pull out the head. So we're gonna turn the printer off, plug out the power supply, and to get the head out of the position, we need to spin the wheel for the brake a little bit. Here's the brake to release the head over here. So we got that done. We should be moving this aside. Okay, so that got broken. That's not good. You can see that the carrier is broken 3 pieces and doesn't hold the electronics of the TIS in place. And also, if you can see there, the cartridges are half full or half empty, however you want it. So we're gonna have to sort that out also, but let's check what's wrong with the head. Can it be fixed or not? So we got a few plastics that need to be removed. This is the plastic that holds the cartridges, the rear of cartridge inside the carrier. This is the plastic that covers the flat cable for the head. And also, as usual, we have this contact board over here, which has a plugged in cable sideways, so we have to reach the cable, and the cables are in this case on the 218 SX Epson are placed on the right, a little bit different than the other ones. And I could tell that somebody has been doing something with this printer already. So let's see how to yeah, so now when I got some light over here to see actually what I'm doing is much easier. I popped this cover for the flat cable in no time. So the problem was that this cover was, this is a bit of a glue over here. Something was probably broken, so the owner put a little glue on it to hold it in place, but it's a little difficult to release it if you're trying to move something or replace head or something like that. So we're gonna clean that up a bit. So how do you remove this piece? You need to pull it at the same time, pull it down and push it to the back. So like this. This is the movement. All right, so we have to unplug the contact board. It's the same as with all other printers, but just on this model is on the right side. First we need to unplug the contact board, because if we don't do that, we cannot pull out the contacts. And we have two hooks from the each side which have to be pushed to the inside and a bit up a bit like this. So there's a hole on both left and right side where you push the hook inside to release the contact board like this. All right, so we got that. A little bit of ink over here. We're gonna have to, let me just clean that up fast a bit because I'll forget it later. We don't want any ink near the electronics. Okay, so now the only thing left is to unscrew the 3 screws holding the head inside. All right, 1, 2. Three. Okay, so should be able to, or maybe not, get the head out. It's a bit easier if you have pliers. Okay, so there's a lot of manipulative space here for connecting and disconnecting, so that's good. That's not the case with every printer. So now we're gonna see if we can clean this black channel or carbon channel a bit. So we need a bit of an alcohol inside the syringe, and maybe we can clean the bottom side a little bit before we all right. So usually wherever you can see some ink residue, it's best to keep everything as clean as possible. Okay. Okay, I think we're good over here. So now we can try to clean the black channel. Is this first one. We're gonna suck out the ink inside and then try to push through. And not good, not good. Pretty very few nozzles. I don't know if you can see that, but very few nozzles are spraying the alcohol. There's no curtain. Let me see what's with the other channels. So you can see there's a curtain over here. Other channels are okay. We've seen that in the print, but the black channel is not good at all. Black channel only a few nozzles are spraying. So yeah, other channels are pretty good, but black one is busted. One more time. Yeah. It's 120 nozzles on the black channel, but as you can see, we don't even have a 10%. Very few nozzles are firing, so not good. We're gonna have to take a new head, try to install it. So this is a new one. We're gonna have to put this one inside instead of the old one. Okay, so the principle of installation is the same as removing, just reversed. So we have to plug in the cable. All right. We're gonna put the head inside. Okay. So now we have to put in the 3 screws. So first, we always repeat that first you have to go left for the screw to pop in the thread, and then you go right. And this one. This one is not really. Oh, okay. We got that one. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good. So now we're gonna put everything back as it is, as it was. We got this contact board. It has its own slot to fit in. Something is not really fitting as it should be. What's wrong? This usually is not a problem to put back. Something is not really going on its place. Okay. Oh yeah, got it this time. And now we have to connect the contact board. You do need a bit of a light to put the cable correctly. All right, and now we can place this holder back to its place, but maybe we'll also need to put some glue on it because I think that some hook over here is got broken off, so we're gonna have to glue that back the same way it was. And that's about oh yeah, we have one more piece to add over here. I think it goes like this. Okay, those are cartridge holders. So that's regarding the head, what we should do. And as we've seen earlier, we have to do some fixing over here also, because this is completely broken and not even filled that good. So we're gonna have to find or another holder for the electronics, because if this holder is not complete, it's broken 3 pieces over here, it won't hold the electronics for resetting the cartridges on its position. So it's most likely that you won't be having cartridges recognized at all if this stays like this. So we're gonna have to find either a replacement carrier or carrier with the electronics, change that completely. So we're gonna have to find something to replace it and get back to you. So we got ourselves a couple of electronic boards over here, which we will try to replace along with the carrier over here. So let's move this off. This is really torn apart. Right. Oh, even the third part is also broken, but it was still holding on a bit. So we're gonna remove that. I don't know how that really happened. Probably, I'm guessing that the owner was pulling out the cartridges for deaeration or something like that, but he used a little bit too much force, I would say. So while we are doing this, we're gonna deaerate. So since we're gonna replace the carrier of the electronic board, we're gonna take this one from a used system. So probably this board is okay, but something is clogged with the cartridges, so we're gonna use that one. But before that, we're gonna deaerate or push the air outside of the cartridges, because this is very poorly done. This here is the filter, which needs to be covered with the ink, and it's only covered like halfway. So we're gonna have to fill this chamber up and also push the air from this chamber, and it's the same with all the other cartridges, and that's very poorly filled. So we're gonna have to correct that. It would be easier if the owner had done so when he filled the cartridges for the first time. Now it's a bit heavier. also doable. Let me just alright, so I have to push this back a bit. So let's see if it's gonna work like this, because we have to turn the rear side down so we can fill this first chamber. And if it's not done first time the new cartridge is filled, you often have to push the ink from the smaller chamber, which stands on the turn of the head, with the syringe to the bigger one. And I think that's what we're gonna have to do to speed things up a bit. So what I'm doing, I'm pushing the ink from the smaller chamber to the bigger one to fill it. Alright, so we got some ink over here. Let's see if it's gonna... This could take some time because we don't know the state of the filter inside the cartridge, but it's probably okay, because the this system itself is not that dirty or old. Looks like it's been replaced recently. And in case we don't have flow, or the flow is too slow, way too slow, we can help ourselves a bit with the syringe over here, create some pressure with the syringe. But if you're doing this, then you have to be careful not to make too much pressure, because you can then tear the nylon inside the chambers, and you will be having a dripping cartridge, and we don't want that to happen. So we have to be careful when doing all this. So yeah, we did manage to fill 1/3 of the bigger chamber. We're gonna try to fill it a bit more. The aim is to cover the filter inside the cartridge, because if it remains on air, it's also clogging, and that will prevent the ink from flowing from the outside tanks to the cartridge. So definitely something we don't want. If I hold the cartridge lower, that could speed up things a bit. Or maybe if I disconnect this holder over here, I would be able to lift the outside tanks a bit higher and thus create a bigger pressure. Yeah, you can see that the small chamber is filling faster. That's also good because we can then push the ink from the smaller chamber to the bigger chamber. Okay, so we got it almost filled to the tops. We are gonna push the ink back a bit.